Shire.
I just wonder if HeroesHearth, obviously, you know, they do their homework, they know their map bans, they know what they want to do. And what we've seen twice from No Tomorrow on this battleground is the Dahaka Falstad, which we saw last game. Different map, different strategies. This one, I wouldn't be surprised if they let Genji through and just flat out ban Dahaka and just play around that. I mean, I really think that they might just keep it standard and say good luck.
Yeah, well, in the last game, we did see the double global be paired with a Sergeant Hammer, and Simplicity have used that to success on a different map, Towers of Doom. It almost feels like it's not how No Tomorrow want to be playing with those globals. And I give part of that to HeroesHearth. That dual soaking Blaze made it difficult to change and use those globals really fast to get some structural damage in, but also because they had to be used to defend the hammer is really slow, they want to be fast, they want to create those opportunities that I tasked to No Tomorrow with those globals. It just felt like maybe some anti-synergy, not necessarily that those don't fit together, but to No Tomorrow's style specifically.
I'm sorry, I can only think of Johanna. And if there's zero chance, I honestly don't care what hero you let through. Just ban Johanna and roll the dice, because on this battleground, Gilly, she is strong.
She is. She's strong on just about everything, but you are right. Wave clear is a lot to Dragonshire. You said you were thinking about Johanna, and I was wondering if perhaps you knew she was looking for an apprentice and you wanted to put your resume in.
And Johanna went from being like the last hero that I'd ever want to play, because it's just like not my style, but now it's like, wow, why not? Like, she's so strong.
I'm just gonna let it play out until we see something different, because this is exactly what happened in the last game. Double global?
I mean, I honestly believe that Dahaka Falstad is their best chance. They've shown to be pretty decent with it on here. Again, taking Tempo Storm to the brink.
Yep.
Winning in their second time they tried it on this battleground.
Versus Freedom.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
It's just the rest of the draft that is always a little bit scary. Jaina has a high priority on this battleground for that rotation, but as we've seen with HeroesHearth, when they pick up the Johanna, they don't have to prioritize the Jaina as highly, because you have the wave clear now in your tank. And post level 4, since exposed, it's just way too easy.
Is there a world where they get to Haka and then not Falstad, leave Falstad to later? No.
I mean, I don't think that it's you have to pick it, I think.
I wondered if maybe Malfurion would be the choice there, and then I don't know that HeroesHearth would look to ban Falstad unless they are just really not wanting to play versus the double global here, but they weren't willing to take that risk. This Dahaka and Falstad is core, having it together for all of those pick possibilities, the rotations, so they're going to stick with that.
So Blaze seems likely, but Yrel on this battleground does hold point. I mean, Dahaka versus Blaze or Yrel, I think, is strong. It's, you know, the gank is going to come to the top lane with the global. Yrel seems to be the, I mean, it's hard to gank either Blaze or Yrel. I think Yrel is a little bit more ungankable to this style of composition, so they might have a mix-up or a little bit of a change-up in that. But they are going to get the Jaina in the early pick, and they generally pair this with the Malfurion.
Yeah, Innervate, giving mana and cooldown reduction to your mage is very nice.
By the way, Blessed Shield into Ring of Frost. This is, it's gonna hurt. They need. I think that Rhaegar has to be a pick. You need a cleanse. You cannot afford to pick Deckard again. You are going to need a cleanse. You're going to need to make sure that you are near your team, and cleanse options are few and far between now. I mean, there's Uther. Uther gives you the armor to sustain through the burst damage if you do want to change it up.
Yeah, you would have Cleanse and Divine Shield to try to help with the burst.
But I think Cleanse is an absolute must. I do not think you can go without it.
Last time HeroesHearth picked this Jaina and Johanna, we thought it was going to be the Blessed Shield into Ring of Frost, and then it ended up being Water Elemental. You think this will be Ring of Frost 100%, or do you think
something's coming after it? I mean, they could just as easily Hanzo and just rip everything through that cursed bullet again. I mean, if they ban Muradin here, then what's your tank gonna be? This Heroes Hearth team is scary.
Yeah, their drafting is very good. And shout out to their coach, Gotham Luck, because I know he has a hand in that. He has been working really hard with the team. They have the draft figured out. We'll see how that changes with the change in bans next week.
He shows up on game day. He just says, just pick Johanna. Like,
Ishbu's like, yeah, yeah, I like that.
Crowan, pick Jaina or Hanzo, whichever one you want. If Li Ming, if you're feeling it, that's about it. And then, you know, McIntyre, you know, there's a plethora of solo laners now, so you can pick Tahaka, Blaze, or Urel. Doesn't matter, you'll get one of them. And Arthlon, well, you know what? We'll play whatever you want.
There's some Thrall thrown in the mix, either for Arthlon or for McIntyre. But no tomorrow. Needs some setup here. They're gonna need their tank. Garrosh is up. Anubarak and Hanzo. So Hanzo can give them some quicker camps, more presence in that bottom lane. And Nubarak, we know his shortcomings, those longer fights. Once he's in, he's in. But Hardened Carapace can give him that spell armor, which is going to help versus Jaina.
He still has the, when you hit with Burrow Charge, you get the spell power reduction, right? That was not taken away.
Debilitation. Yeah. At 16,
it's
though. It's
late, but though, I mean, Jaina at level 16 is super scary. So that is something that can have an impact on later game team fights. If you go, that's not normally the traditional pickup, but.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I am scared about the levels 1 to 16. Purely because it's Heroes Hearth, but you're right. Jaina gets very strong. There's the Blaze and Thrall to close out the draft. By the books for Heroes Hearth is the continuation, but No Tomorrow are showing some adjustments to try to see what they can do to get a win off of this very strong team.
Again, Rhaegar, he's a little bit more of a liability with that much melee coming at you. And Anubarak does, if he can have a moment to press W to get that spell armor to reduce that potential blow up, does have the unstoppable on his Burrow Charge.
Gust is going to help too.
Well, I mean, it was... I mean,
if he can use it.
Didn't matter how fast he used it last game. That ETC was there and gone. Like,
and then back again.
There's no curse bullet, so...
Yeah, but there's a blizzard cone of cold, frostable, root, lightning. Lots of things, in other words. But Akaface, it's time.
I said
to fight.
Cleanse. So
yeah, you have to sacrifice a lot to get a cleanse for Brightwing.
So two things that Brightwing does do well is that her Pixie Dust gives you spell armor and has a cleanse. And you will undoubtedly be facing a very heavy CC chain with a lot of spell damage. Is it enough? We'll find out, because as you said, the shortcomings for her come in the lack of heals, because it's the pulsing every few seconds, get the heal, unless you go into talents. But then you decide, do you want to go Blink Heal or do you want to go Emerald Wind? Emerald Wind helps your passive healing. Blink Heal gives you more targeted healing, but then you become susceptible to the root, the stuns, the dive of Heroes Hearth. So there are some things that you have to be careful of, but there are some positives to it.
Yeah, Blink Heal, we've seen that versus Thrall because of Earthquake. Your positioning there, I think it's going to be Emerald Wind, because then they're not fully reliant on just Falstad to be able to Gust, because if he's the lockdown, then you still have Emerald Wind. Gives you a little bit more from those pulses of healing. Also Polymorph, if they're going to try to stun lock and kill a target, they have a Nubarak now in Polymorph, so there is no chance of an Iron Skin for Johanna. There's no chance for an Ice Block from one of the other two. Can't go in a bunker if you're polymorphed. That might make the difference between being alive or dead. So No Tomorrow, they're not necessarily trying to do anything different other than just, we're going to get the blow up faster than you can get the blow up on us.
The one thing that will be interesting, depending on if we're on even talent tiers by the time 16 comes around, Thrall, his 16 quest, and with Echo of the Elements, stacking up, that might be the break point for Brightwing healing, and that can we keep up with it? You know, one thing Brightwing also brings is another global. This is now triple global.
Twice in a row.
Yeah, not just waiting for level 10, but you now get it as each player's mount option. And
Brightwing has the benefit of being able to reduce the cooldown from that, getting Hyper Shift at level 1. We see the Nerubian armor from Jhin as having some more spell armor to help out with this very spell damage-based composition from HeroesHearth.
I kind of wonder if we'll ever see the spell armor from Dahaka, because he has it available on his Dark Storm. It's just the value of his other talents just far outweigh it. Either way, we do see the camp being picked up here, the Bruiser camp on the side of HeroesHearth. Alternatively, No Tomorrow picked up their Siege Giant camp. And it is important to note that level 1 picked up for Brightwing is that if you do attempt a gank, and maybe you use all of your globals, you don't necessarily isolate yourself from the rest of your team, because you do get that cooldown reduction. It allows you to go in. And I was unaware that a polymorph actually cancels your condemn, because condemn goes through stuns and everything else, but a polymorph cancels it.
Benefit of being a silence. UJ's gonna take some fire from Jay Shritta. No Tomorrow trying really hard to hold on to this bottom, especially because they know that their globals in the top are gonna have to back off to deal with that Bruiser camp. So they're being pulled apart at the seams just slightly. They're gonna get Dahaka back on the point in the top, so it's less of a concern to hold on in the bottom. And Brightwing can heal back up Hanzo with those pulses, as they do a pretty good job of keeping hold. But HeroesHearth are gonna pick up a camp in the bottom. We'll see if that changes things up.
Casanova is at least gonna feign, force out a little bit of a response from Ishbu as the charge comes in. That's actually gonna make the Iron Skin usage come out, but it's going to buy enough time for HeroesHearth to reclaim the bot shrine.
Yeah, but Dahaka stalking down to the bottom, and this is what the globals aim to do. Casanova will come in too, hits BBJ,
Ooh.
And with Jhin burrowing in, a double.
This is their global play. This is how they've had success on this very battleground. They had some success last game at Sky Temple, though, ended up getting out-rotated, and the comeback was more difficult. So we'll see Casanova start the camp here at the bottom. Shrite is going to join him.
Now, you know, it's not about just having the globals to keep the soak up if you fall behind, to be able to quickly go and take a shrine. For No Tomorrow, it enables their aggression more, better, faster, because they could show up and outman you in a lane, which is what they did exactly there. What worked out for HeroesHearth last time was that they had the Blaze to soak in multiple lanes, multiple areas, and later on, if No Tomorrow can continue to keep those kills up, that's where they start to have people out of play long enough that they can use those globals quickly and get a Dragon Knight.
It's going to be, again, double shrine control, at least momentarily, for No Tomorrows. They've also picked up level 7. Everything pretty standard across the board. Boomerang, of course, more standard Falstad build for this map, as well as continuing to go into phase shift. Jin's going to miss the mark ever so slightly there as Arthlon uses, I believe, used the Wind Fury to get out of there a little bit quicker.
Condemn hits, phase shift from Brightwing to give the phase shield for Casanova so they can keep the fight going. No Tomorrow, they really want to keep a hold of this bottom, but there's nobody in mid who would be able to capture. HeroesHearth have the 4-man here too. Feels like HeroesHearth is just doing their best to weather the storm, get Thrall into those later levels where he starts to come online more, get their setup with the Johanna and the Jaina, and potentially the Malfurion to follow up too. Good double root.
Ooh.
That's the end. Brightwing is gone pretty quickly. Now Nature's Cure will stop Tomster from being able to drag Crone back.
Big play there. So we're going to see Essence forced to be used again as the root came in. The Blizzard follow-up. Now we've got some action going on in the middle as it's now double shrine here for HeroesHearth, and it's their chance to see if they can turn this around in their favor. But Tomster's going to hold point. Brightwing's going to phase shift in. Jin's going to burrow charge out. We find ourselves back to even.
It gets weird whenever Tomster has to come down to the bottom lane. Ideally, it's Casanova who's coming in. We're going to start to see him make that rotation back up, possibly just to the mid to make sure he's keeping up with the soak there. No Tomorrow are falling behind ever so slightly in experience, but what better way to get that experience back than to try to get a kill? Unfortunately, there's a root and a lot of Jaina damage that meets Tomster there.
Ishbu coming in with the big flank here. There's going to be the stun, the lockdown. That's enough to get another takedown. In Heroes Hearth, what seemed like No Tomorrow themselves weathering a bit of a storm with that blizzard coming down, was not able to do it enough. Is the perfect flank and execution there by Ishbu to get to that back line.
With those couple of kills, and Heroes Hearth figuring out how to make the global composition work, or playing against it, they're going to try to get the channel. We see the squatting in the top. It's enough. Heroes Hearth get the first Dragon Knight, along with having Tins ahead of No Tomorrow.
Bunker used, and we get Casanova flying up as well. The stun's going to be there enough. Dodging of the hammering. That's just going to enable this Dragon Knight to do even more. And Gilly got a few question marks right now.
We have Tranquility to heal up, try to out-sustain the solo Brightwing, or Twilight Dream, a Ring of Frost, and massive blow-up possibilities with the Wombo. Sometimes you don't always get to see a Wombo combo, and it may be that Heroes Hearth is so stretched apart because of this triple global composition that we see more of the skirmishy focused heroic abilities, but Tranquility has been grabbed by Malfurion, so we're just waiting on Jaina.
Blink Heal was picked up to make sure to get that targeted healing that will be necessary. But I think the scary thing is if you Blink Heal and a Blessed Shield or any type of CC comes up, do you all of a sudden become the focus? And Brightwing, obviously the support, not the highest health pool, but we're still waiting. Ring of Frost, we know the Blessed Shield, Ring of Frost combo is definitely there.
Have to keep Cocoon in mind too, because it can be a game changer for No Tomorrow in these team fights on somebody like a Malfurion. Blaze too with the bunker. Anybody who might be able to give some saving to the target that No Tomorrow wants to go after with that global composition when they go in for it.
I'd like to see No Tomorrow prioritize that bottom camp. They have the global advantage. I think that Heroes Hearth is aware of this, which is why we see Blaze already making the rotation down. Dahaka has shown top. I was wondering if they would take advantage of the global that they have and move to that bottom camp and try and take control of this and get some experience off this, get some structure damage. But I think no eyes on Blaze is making this difficult. Blaze is now shown, and here we go. They're coming in.
They are. Blaze is all by himself, and as No Tomorrow came in, Heroes Hearth went ahead and left.
Yeah, that was a really good wolf coming out there.
Ring of Frost.
Yeah. He was ready to fight. So was Brightwing.
One big reason why.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh. Well, Gilly, I have yet to see that fail quite in that fashion.
Needed the Blessed to land first. There's going to be a Cocoon. As the rest of the team funnels in, they use the Gust early on, have the lockdown enough to take out Blaze, even as the Earthquake was there from Arthalon, hoping to give him the escape.
Bunker, it showed 1 second left before the Fate. And No Tomorrow, I feel like they're picking up some momentum right here, dodging the monster combo. See if they can actually dodge this. No big cooldowns yet. Jin forced to go ahead and burrow charge out. Akabase gives him the Blink Heal.
Oh, Tomster came in, and Heroes Hearth are happy to turn toward them and try to get a kill. Gonna phase shift, that gives a little bit more of the phase shield, just long enough, and he gets into the burrow. Polymorph 2, No Tomorrow still trying to disengage, don't have anything, they definitely don't have the Emerald Wind since it was Blink Heal as the pickup, but didn't have Gust for another few seconds. They just barely made it out. They did maintain. Heroes Hearth though, something that I was writing down is the faith that they have in Blaze and their faith in their 4-man, that they're able to get away when No Tomorrow goes in for a gank. Blaze has kept them in this game and the last one, to have the experience either lead or caught up with a triple global composition is quite good.
Well, they've turned their focus again here. The stun's going to be there. Cocoon used onto Johanna. Casanova trying to be safe. The isolation was used onto Thrall, but Tranquility's out despite the Dragon Arrow. So now Ultimate's staying here for HeroesHearth, and this fight is turning around against No Tomorrow as Tomster falls. And the DK the entire time pushing in that bot lane now. And this lead went from manageable for No Tomorrow to a substantial deficit in the blink of a heel.
It's twice now.
What?
That was good. It's twice now that HeroesHearth has gotten a Dragon Knight and No Tomorrow has attempted and not been able to get picks on somebody at the shrine. Just hoping that they're able to get a leg up in the fights, having more people there, having the power play, and it's just not happening. HeroesHearth are far too comfortable, far too skilled, and they have the survivability with the heroes that they have to make it out. There's the Blessed Shield.
Oh, there's
follow up
the combo.
immediately afterward. Roots are there.
And now we're going to see Blessed Shield was used, but Ring of Frost is available the minute Crowan pops out of this Blizzard down. There's a root. See if they stick around a little bit longer. Johanna's in the cocoon for now. Nature's Cure was just used on Arthur, and they still have a lot of firepower, but Dragon Arrow in response.
Yeah, Root catches Casanova. They're going to keep him there. There is the Ring of Frost. That is the end of a new Barak, and there's no keep here. HeroesHearth liking more, has 16, and continuing to fight. Now has the heals to bring them back up to full. They take out Falstad. They bring down Brightwing, and they'll bring down a lot more, J-How.
Just like Volskaya, all of a sudden it goes from one team fight to instant explosions once they get past that keep, and that is enough here for HeroesHearth to close out this series against No Tomorrow. And this will set at least one of our two Titans up as undefeated for next weekend, as HeroesHearth, their next opponent after this, next week, will be against Tempo Storm, a potential match of undefeated teams as HeroesHearth continues to remain perfect.
Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see what Team Freedom says about that, because they'll be playing Tempo Storm tomorrow. But for HeroesHearth, they have only lost a single game this entire Part 1 of Phase 2, and that is a welcome sign. There are many teams that have gone to international events from North America and come back, and whether it's trying to get back into things after maybe taking a little bit of a break, whether it is trying to adjust to a different regional meta after adjusting to a tournament meta like MSV, HeroesHearth Esports has not really had too much to deal with that, and a lot of that comes down to the atmosphere that this team has. A lot of it, again, goes back into their coach and Gotham Luck. But for them, it's just really awesome to see as an NA fan, knowing that this team is going to represent well, almost certainly at the Western Clash.
I think at this point it's pretty much a given. They're so strong. They
are.
It reminds me of Tempo Storm earlier this year, except they're doing it with a very narrow meta. Tempo Storm came in with all in your face, lots of melee, killing you every step of the way, doing whatever they want to teams. HeroesHearth similarly not dropping games, more specifically. They're winning the series, but only that one loss, and that was to Team Freedom, and respectably so. But the dominance is there. The dominance is 100% there, and if they continue this, then yeah, their Western Clash hopes, right now it's pretty much a given that they're there, but it's a matter of how much you perform. And their entire mentality every time we talk to them is improve, improve, improve. And at some point, you improve to a ceiling that says it's time to start winning large events and not just our region.
Yeah, for all of them, or all the events that we've seen HeroesHearth at, they've tried to set their expectations to realistic. And now I do feel like if they're able to work on some of the issues that we saw versus Octalysis, and it seems like they have, we'll see for sure next week versus Tempo Storm. I think that there's a very good chance that North America can contend with the top from Europe at that Western Clash.
Just somebody ban Johanna and take them away from a map that has Diablo and dare them to play Murd and dare them to play Gyarados. Just do something different. Ishbu now sitting at 10-1 on Johanna, 3-0 on Diablo. That's it. No other heroes that is extremely high success rate, and for good reason. Give me something different.
Well, it'll be Tempo Storm who's charged with that one. Now, what about No Tomorrow as we're waiting for our winner's interview? What are you hoping to see from them? We heard from Casanova. He was very realistic about their opponent being HeroesHearth here. Do you feel like they're walking away learning even more from this week?
Well, they're getting value out of the globals. I mean, there's clear signs that they're getting the value there. It's just where are you getting value elsewhere? And I think that's where they've struggled. Their team fights, their compositions and drafts have struggled. They don't have a clear direction that they want to go outside of globals. One of the problems with globals is Dahaka. He's great for globals, has that good CC. We've seen plays made by Tomster, but does it hold up in a 5-on-5 team fight? Falstad, does he really hold up in a 5-on-5 team fight? And those are where they struggle more so than some of the other heroes, like we see from Phoenix, from the Li Ming, from, well, Sergeant Hammer's kind of there, from a lot of the heroes that we see on the side of HeroesHearth, where it's more control-based instead of just, I'm getting a pick here, I'm getting a pick there. Does that allow you to push structures? Does that allow you to get the objective and push with the objective? And a lot of that is normally second tier. Global forces you to have second tier results in other categories so that you have the global. That's our balance team, I think, has done a very good job with those heroes. And I think that it still is going to come down to team fights, and too much globals, maybe too much.
Yeah, I would agree. It felt like this might have been over the line for No Tomorrow, but still testing the limits for that because they have been able to find success versus some very good teams with those globals. So now maybe they can draw things back, start to look forward to next week. And with next week, there are so many things coming in that I think a lot of teams are going to be at the drawing board, working really hard. All of our teams will be doing that so that they're prepared for the 2 reworks and the triple bans that are going to no doubt change things up. But I believe we have someone here ready to grace us with an interview after that last win, HeroesHearth Esports. Kron, congratulations. You guys came in, you had a very dominant 3-0 over No Tomorrow. What was the game plan coming in for this week versus them?
Well, first of all, thank you. The game plan is basically we can go in and do the same stuff we've been doing. If they prove that they can punish us, then we might have to change it up. But we've been, doing the same stuff and it's worked out. And so until teams are challenging us, then we'll see what happens there.
How do you see next week and the patch coming in changing things up for North America and for you guys? Maybe not going into too much of the draft, but just how you feel like that's going to affect the meta.
I mean, I think personally it's going to affect it so heavily. Just the introduction of a third ban means there's going to be so many different options. Like literally, you're 100% like expanding your first ban rate. So there's going to be maybe even non-meta picks that we haven't been seeing in a while, maybe coming into play right now. Like there's just going to be so much diversity, so many options for teams to go. So I'm going to be looking to experiment, try to improve upon that.
Well, I'm very excited for it. Kron, you guys came in and you've dropped a single game all of this part. You guys look on par to be, if not the top, then right at the top. We'll see next week as you guys take on Tempo Storm for North America. Have there been any surprises from any teams that you have felt as you've watched all the other matches and all the other NA teams face off?
There's been a couple. I think that LFM, while they don't have a very great record, LFM are showing lots of moments of brilliance, which I think has been, surprising to me that they haven't quite been able to reach, I think, their potential. That's something I'm looking at. And also, I think that, honestly, Octalis is looking very strong right now. I think they're probably, second best team in North America, but yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty bold claim, but I'm excited to hear it. Jay, how do you have any questions for Kron?
Yeah, hey, listen, without leaking anything, do you guys actually play other heroes than Johanna and Scrims?
Cannot confirm nor deny.
Well, you guys obviously are running a lot of the same compositions, and Gilly touched on the changes next weekend, but a lot of the core elements of your team remain the same with the follow-up CC. Is there anything in the hero reworks between Asmo and Raynor that you see might be showing up in our meta next week? Just tease us a little bit. Blink twice if yes.
I mean, honestly, I'm just going to say I played, it was 4 games of Hero League the other day versus Asmodan, and Asmodan won every single game. So I don't know. I mean, they're looking pretty exciting. I think that Raynor is definitely a better hero. Asmodan, I'm not quite sure where he lies, but it's going to be something to experiment with for sure. And, it's going to lead more into the draft diversity if those heroes are actually going to be good in meta.
All right, I saw 2 blinks despite not being able to look at you, so thank you for the confirmation. But looking back at this series, No Tomorrow, Casanova said in his interview that he didn't expect the win. You guys clearly come in expecting 3-0. No Tomorrow had signs to where they played around the global, they bring a lot to you. What is it about this team that they might want to look at to improve that you guys clearly had strategies for, clearly knew how to counter, but there were times they were aggressive? How do they capitalize on those moments to maybe round their own team out, if you can give a little bit of insight of your own?
I mean, I feel like that team is consisted of, mechanically solid players, but they just haven't quite had the success that, they've been hoping. But I think that it sort of leads down to a lot of their, I guess, macro play. Like, I guess we saw some of the games, they commit like all 5 people to, one side of the map or the other, and they don't sometimes like, it doesn't really work out for them. So just like overall, just having a strong macro game, I think would help that team out a lot.
Well, macro team fight, you guys seem to hit all the check marks, and I'm interested to see the meta that we have next week. You guys obviously have innovated quite a bit here in North America, despite the lack of hero diversity this phase. I know it's coming from you guys, so
Hey,
I'm looking.
I've
Go
in my
ahead.
last 2 series, I've played a different hero every single game. So I mean,
Are you forcing it?
there's
I
been a
mean,
little bit of diversity. No,
are
no,
you,
no, not forcing it, but I'm just pointing it out. Just pointing it out.
I mean, I'm still looking at just a handful of heroes.
I mean, we'll see once the 3 bans come in. We'll see if maybe I'm pushed to be able to play more.
All right, the minute I see the pepper coming out, I know it's changing. Crowan, congrats on the win today.
Oh, shh. Don't expose it.
All right, well, we won't make you say any more of your strategies, Crowan, but I do want to hear a little bit about next weekend because it's a big one for you guys. You have Endemic and Tempo Storm, the match that we have been waiting for all part long. How are those going to go for you guys?
I mean, I'm feeling confident going into both of those teams. I think that Endemic has a very strong roster, and they look pretty good. But I think that if we come to that series, prepare, play well, we'll be able to take it. And same with Tempo Storm, honestly. So I mean, we're just feeling good. We're feeling better and better as every week goes on, and just looking to carry that momentum.
Awesome. Well, congrats again. And if you have any shout-outs, now's your time.
Yeah, for sure. As always, shout outs to HeroesHearth. You can check out a whole bunch of stuff from, the store of our shirts and jerseys, hoodies like this, everything at HeroesHearth.com. Shout outs to my team. I think it's honestly like, it kind of strikes me as, I'm sort of speechless sometimes just how far we've come in such a short time. So really shout outs to my team. Shout outs to everybody who's helped us out. Cawthon, our coach, Reno, our manager, and esports psychologist, actually Ramadi. I want to give him a shout out as well because I forgot to last time. Yeah, shout outs to you guys for casting. Shout out to Twitch chat and much love. I'll be streaming after this, twitch.tv/Crowan. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Crowan. Congrats again.
Thank you.
Hearts all around. That sets up HeroesHearth for what is likely to be an awesome weekend next weekend. I didn't realize it was not just Tempo Storm, which of course we've been talking about since week 4, Tempo versus HeroesHearth. But with Endemic too, that's going to be quite the weekend.
It's still, no matter how much time passes on, I feel like there's going to always be a little bit of a grudge match potential.
Yeah.
With Michael Udall teams versus new Crowan teams, especially the fact that Crowan did have to find his way back in the way that he has. So I think there's going to be a little bit there. And for HeroesHearth, I think they're okay with coming out and dominating in a similar fashion, but Endemic, again, has shown a different type of team, a different style of team, and one that I think can actually hold up very well against HeroesHearth, but time will tell on that one.
Wells, everybody, I know I've been excited about next week, but tomorrow is the day I've been looking forward to all weekend long, and here is why. Finally, 4-0 apiece. Team Dignitas and Team Liquid face off, an old classic, J-How.
Sunday is the day to watch, as that's going to be something I'm going to wake up and watch. Zealots still sitting at 0-4, but it's not because they're not there. It's just they haven't been able to put together a complete series, but they're going to try their hand against Method, who looks a revived and refreshed team, finding themselves up near the top of EU themselves before we hit NA.
Oh, Tempo Storm versus Team Freedom. That is going to be a phenomenal match, as Freedom is going to come in with all of the changes that they have implemented with their coach and try to put Tempo Storm to the test. And finally, Endemic and Octalysis, they are tied in standings, but Endemic losing to Team Freedom, that is a must-win now if this team wants to look toward the Western Clash.
Yeah, because both of those teams will be watching that earlier matchup of Team Freedom and Tempo, and they're going to be rooting for Tempo because the one team that they could potentially surpass if wins-loss kind of play out there is if Team Freedom drops down, that would be the spot that you would potentially have to climb into. So for those teams, it is